In this episode of Negative Modifier, we'll be playing the game Delta Green. Delta Green, by design, tackles various mature themes that may be uncomfortable or triggering for listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hold on.
I feel like we better change clothes if we're going to get on an airplane. I mean, we smell horrible.
I'm showering. What are we doing with all the books?
That's what I've been doing. I've been reading this whole time.
We can't fly them. Not all that.
Yeah, you're right. We better reconnect with Pine this morning.
All right, to the, I mean, it's either that or one of us is driving back from Idaho. You know, if we want to keep them in J-Cell, that's the only way to do it. So, I mean, I'm fine turning them over to Miss Pine, as I stated before. But I just wanted to point that out.
So there's a third option.
Copy them. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, there's that. There's also you could make your own green box.
Ooh. I like that option. I say give him Miss Pine, though.
We did tell the others that we're turning over the binders.
Yep, we did. Making our own green box would be quite fun, though. But another time, I guess.
I mean, no one knows you have that except for Samantha Pearson crew.
That's what I mean. I mean, Pierce might...
Yeah, she threatened me. So, I mean, not really, but she, you know.
She was also super cool with the fact that you chose to go against orders and blow the entire place up. And kind of also came prepared to blow that place up.
Also true. All right, well, there's a third option that presents itself. We give him Miss Pine. Jackal here could drive him back. Now, jet lag could drive him back from Idaho. Or
I live in Florida.
Yeah, well, I know, but all right. Well, I guess if Jumper wouldn't mind the company, the two of us could drive him back to DC and hide him somewhere there.
Well, geez, how many of these binders we got? Why don't we just rent one of those?
Or we could just take them back to my place in Boston.
You're in
None
Boston?
of these are
I thought you were in
convenient.
Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore.
Okay,
Never
sorry. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could. They could all go into somebody's. We could each take a binder into our carry-on, I guess. Let's hope to God they don't get searched, because that would be some shit.
It's a bunch of binders. It's easily
paper,
30,
right?
40 things, yeah.
Why don't we ship them?
I mean, do you really want them just in transit somewhere? We've seen weirder shit than a package not showing up where it's supposed to be. That's more my concern.
These need to be either we find a place to stash them, or we transport them ourselves.
Or we give them to Pine, which I'm fine with. I'm more than okay turning them over to Miss Pine. I want to do whatever the rest of you want to do.
We got 40 binders or something? Is that what you said?
It's a bunch of them, yeah. It's a bunch of research. You only read a couple of them because you'll need a couple minutes to do it kind of thing. But yeah,
How long would it take to scan everything electronically and then burn the hard copies?
Probably a while, but you could do that, but it would definitely take some time.
Well,
I guess I'll also remind you, Samantha Pierce mentioned that that something in the truck is tracking you. That's how they find you. That's how they found you.
Right. They wouldn't. We couldn't take their truck. We'd have to rent our own vehicle.
It's the cell phone. It's the satellite phone.
Yeah, the sat phone.
Stick with our plan and hand in the binders to Pine. See what she says.
Yeah, it is apparently a 36-hour drive back to Baltimore, to the D.C. area from Boise. So,
what good is this stuff sitting in a green box somewhere?
You come back for when you have more time.
I don't plan to, to be back in Boise anytime soon. So, I say we give them to Pine.
I agree. I don't want these binders just sitting in my house anyways.
Yep. And I don't want, nothing against UPS, but again, I don't want them getting intercepted. I don't want any of that crap. Hell, we pack them in our luggage, even one of them. We don't know if we're going to see that bag ever again. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but that just seems par for the course at this point.
Well, let me also bring up the fact that You did technically violate orders. Like, the chances of Miss Pine being happy about this necessarily, like, yeah, you brought some stuff back, but are you prepared to kind of lie your way out of why that site went up in flames?
Yeah, there was an evil wizard there. If she doesn't know anything, if she doesn't know enough about him to tell us that, he's a sand monster, then what does she know that, like, how does she know he can't breathe fire or some shit? I think we can plausibly deny, well, but Pierce knows that we burned the place.
She was there to burn the place.
She was there to burn the place. Did she just show up on her own with a truck full of fuel? Maybe. That's entirely possible. What if we get back there and she denies ever having been there?
Give me an intelligence check.
27 success.
Jotun, let's go with Jotun because you got it on the first try. Yeah, so you remember back to your conversation in the bar, and your friend, your kind of seemingly disturbed friend that told you to burn it all.
Oh, he said he had a friendly.
He had a friend in the IRS.
The double agent.
So do we even need to report back into Pine? Can we just go home?
Yeah, you already have the kind of stuff to get out of town.
Starting to second guess turning these in, honestly. Yeah, how are we going to explain to her that we picked and choose what we destroyed?
We didn't pick and choose. These were what we could save.
Picked and chose.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. So we could honestly say that's what we got out before the place caught on fire.
Because that's true.
And that is true.
It is true.
All right, let's say that
Or
when we killed the mummy, it triggered a some kind of alarm that set the place on fire.
I shot the mummy and it just burst into flames.
Why the hell not?
Why the hell not? In fact, I'm surprised that it didn't, now that I mention it, because that seems pretty much in line with the rest of all this crap. So, we could say that. We could stick to that. Or we could hide them. And I have no idea where. Or
We drive him back.
I rent a car and Jumper and I get to play every boring-ass road game for the next 36 hours.
I don't know. I just feel like 40 binders is too much to be inconspicuous about.
Well, yeah, so also, you've been to some kind of exciting... The green box you've been to is kind of exciting. Like, storage lockers are just a thing you can rent anonymously as long as you put cash down up front that you could stash the stuff in at least temporarily. That stuff's pretty cheap. You could buy a cheap car, kind of ditch it in the woods somewhere and throw all the binders in the back of it in like a plastic container. Yeah, not all green boxes are as cool as the bitchin' Camaro. A lot of them are just kind of inconspicuous places to hide stuff. And also, think about it. Who's actually going to go into that weird van in a junkyard? Like, it's more about the fact that it's just kind of in a junkyard that's the important part. It's accessible, but also no one's going to climb inside of a pile of cars to kind of open the sliding door of a van. There's lots of inconspicuous ways to get into this. That's the kind of the spycraft aspect of this. There's tons of ways to hide in plain sight, like put in a motel room, put it up above the ceiling or something like that. There's a bunch of ways you could hide this. Like, hell, you could bury it if you wanted to, hypothetically.
All right, you know what? We could hide it here, or we can rent a car, drive back to D.C., and figure out a place to hide it there, where at least Jumper and I can get at it.
I like that idea.
I guess that would only help people that are in DC, right? I don't understand how we would end up using this later.
I don't understand how leaving it in Boise would be useful. I mean, the whole point of coming here, well, was to kill an evil wizard. But, I mean, it's just a suggestion. We could easily, we could turn it over to Miss Pine and lie, too. If we don't want to run that risk, then I think that that's the safest option. We drive back. We have to stop somewhere. Because I can't drive for 36 hours. I guess I could sleep. We could take shifts. But we all need to sleep right now.
Yeah, I guess like to remind you, green boxes exist so you can ditch stuff that's too hot to transport at that point in time kind of thing, too. Something stopping you from coming back in a month or so, once all the kind of heat on this location has died down or whatever, to pick this stuff back up. Like, people go to Boise. Two of you have jobs that might, in theory, take you to Boise. Hell, Agent Jumper can kind of travel indiscriminately given her profession. I don't know, like, she could come back to investigate the mysterious fire in Malta at the farm.
Well, I was just going to say, I think we just put it somewhere safe here and move on.
Yeah, and I'd also kind of say at the same time, not using your plane tickets that Delta Green's provided for you, that might also be suspicious to someone, hypothetically.
All right. Do we have a way to contact each other outside of these missions?
You do not yet. You don't even know each other's real names, hypothetically.
I haven't given my real name ever. I think Jetlag might have to the forestry guy.
Did I?
I don't know. You gave a name.
I gave a name.
I don't know if that was a real name.
Considering I made up a name for this session, it probably was not my real name.
Probably not your real name. Okay.
How far is Boise from Brookville, Kansas?
Probably a good clip, would be my guess. Western United States is big.
I mean, I guess either way, we got to tell Miss Pine about this Kansas thing, right?
Do you?
Well, yeah, I would definitely report that.
I think it's still under our investigation jurisdiction.
Why?
You could just investigate it yourself. You're all Delta Green agents. You can take up the lead on your own time, too. Who knows if she'll even get... Did you remember to bring the letter with you? Like,
Yeah, I stashed it.
all right, you brought the letter with you. Yeah. Who's to say you'll even be assigned to it, kind of thing? Like, she might be pissed. There's a variety of things that could go weird with this. Like, also, he donated some stuff to a museum. How dangerous could that be? It's probably just some World War II memorabilia.
The famous last words.
Yeah, I think we all know it's some terrible crap.
I like the idea of us investigating our own. I mean, I tell you the truth, I don't really trust Miss Pine. Maybe we should look into this on our own.
I mean, in that case, we just rent a car and take the binders with us for now and just drive our way to Kansas, huh?
Well, didn't we agree that if we don't use the plane tickets, that won't look good?
I mean, hell, we could call her up right now and just tell her we're following a lead.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
we don't need the plane tickets, and we can head to Kansas.
How many days until this festival?
About a week.
Oh, shit. All right. We could. It's a 20-hour drive. So I don't know about you, but I need some sleep.
Well, I mean, if we're going to Kansas, just sleep here tonight. We'll rent a car and head out.
And then do we just keep 40 binders with us the whole time?
Oh, yeah.
Or are we... Okay. Sure.
Just for reference, though, that also puts you away from your job and family and loved ones for a week. And
Yeah, it does.
how long will that whole task force thing you're allegedly assigned to hold up as cover?
Well, that's a pretty official cover, I think.
Mine can...
Until it's not.
If we get Miss Pine's blessing to continue the investigation, presumably the cover will carry over.
I think we go with Miss Pine. Maybe we won't even get assigned to it, and honestly, at that point, I don't care anymore. We did our job. We told her that something's happening. If she assigns it to another Delta Green team to go investigate Kansas, more power to her. I got a job, kid, dog. Can't spend all my time Delta Greening.
You got a kid and a dog?
I do. Adopted kid.
No. Where's your kid now?
That's none of your goddamn business.
Fair enough. All right, let's all right, let's call her up, tell her about Kansas, and see if she wants us to go, I guess.
What are you doing with the binders, I guess, first?
That will depend on whether or not she wants us to go to Kansas, I guess. Because if not, we gotta stash them here.
I still want to give them to Miss Pine, kind of, because we don't have time to go through 40 binders of stuff to determine if there's anything useful, especially if some of it's in weird languages or whatever.
Oh, no, this is all in English. These are the kind of zoology binders. These are all kind of research notes. This is not the weird books.
Nazi English.
So very scientific. These are things you were reading about the ghouls and stuff like that earlier in.
Right, okay.
I got the old Norse tome, too. At least one of them. All right. Well, we can't just keep. We could sit here all day and argue in circles about it. But I think. All right. So let's do this again. Who votes? We give him to Miss Pine.
I do. Echo.
I do. Jet lag.
Jumper, I'm gonna have to err on the side of turning him over. I guess it's gonna be too much of a hassle. We can't afford to have him out in the field.
I think you're all making a mistake, but okay.
If she wants us to keep him for some reason, she might. We could come up with a place to stash him. But I think just being open with her about it. Okay, so short straw. Who's gonna lie to her about the fire?
I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm a horrible sweet talker.
Yeah, I think I am too. All right, Jumper.
All right. I'm going to give...
Why don't you give her a call?
Yeah, Miss Pine a call.
Tell her about that Mummy Inferno and, the Kansas, and ask her what she wants to do with these books, and we'll go from there.
So you make the call?
Yeah. Yep, make a call. Let's see if she answers.
All right, so she does indeed pick up, and it's just, what? What the fuck happened out there?
What do you mean, what the fuck happened? We completed the mission and killed Jotun. You just never said anything about zombies when they explode in flames.
Have you not checked the news yet? It's all over the news. There's an explosion at a farm. Out in Malta, there's a fire. Just how many acres of crops you idiots burned?
We didn't burn it. The exploding zombie mummy thing did. We barely made it out of there alive. But it's dead. And all the things he had in there blasted to hell. We barely made it out of there alive.
In where?
In his little bunker, was where he was literally on life support. It's kind of hard to explain, but he was basically in an Egyptian urn with essence being pumped into it, and that's what was keeping his mummy body going. And all the other forms that we ever saw were just creations of his, and not really him, but his mummy body that we exploded, shot to shit and exploded in flames was him.
So an explosion that was capable of cracking the ground, you four survived?
Well, it didn't start that way.
Agent, don't lie to me. What happened out there?
What happened was we killed the mummy, the bunker exploded, but only after we managed to get out. When we got out, the house, the silos, and the fields around it were already aflame.
It's kind of a long pause of just kind of hear some angry breathing. Give me a persuade roll.
All right. Failed with a 65 out of 50. Dang.
Put me on speaker.
Okay. I put it on speaker.
I don't know why you four made the decisions you made. Congratulations on killing Felder, but you picked wrong. I would seriously consider your choices and where your loyalties lie moving forward, if you are to move forward. Just kind of hangs up on all of you.
I immediately call her back.
She does not pick up.
Does an answer machine pick up?
It just goes to this number is no longer in service.
Well, guys, she's not back in another mission, so we could all just go home. Who cares about Kansas? I mean, I don't know. These kind of things seem world-ending and possibly thousands of people will die, but hey, I got shit to do at home.
I think we have to go to Kansas.
If we're stuck with binders, we got to go to Kansas.
I vote we don't go to Kansas. I vote we go home.
I vote with Jumper on this one.
I don't think we should go straight to Kansas, but next week we should see what's up with that event. We don't have to decide right now. We do have to decide what we're going to do with 40 binders.
If we do not have the support of Delta Green, I'm not going to go because I don't even have money to pay for spending weeks in Kansas or whatever.
Yeah, if it's going to be on our dime, that's not going to be great. For me either. So, I guess we have to hide these, right? That's the only thing we can do now.
I suggest we, I don't know, where's the nearest college town?
We're in
I'm pretty sure we can find a in-house storage like place where people store documents and stuff.
Yeah, are you going to pay for that?
Yeah, I can pay for that.
Really?
I mean, people store research paper all the time, especially in places that have like college towns or places that have a lot of research facilities.
I was thinking more like burying a dumpster.
That sounds. Then how are we going to access it without digging it back up?
We put it in a vehicle and leave the vehicle somewhere.
Yeah, I think that would be conspicuous.
Someone could steal the vehicle, or kids
tow
it, or kids who are just having a fun time light it on fire. Not saying I ever did that when I was a kid. At any point in time, I don't care what that sheriff says.
Storage lockers are a thing.
I like that idea.
That's only a temporary solution because we got to pay for that, right?
You can pay cash.
How much does a storage locker actually run?
Varies how big a storage locker you're getting and how not seedy a facility it is.
And depends on if we want to environmentally control it or not.
A couple like plastic containers from like Home Depot or something, you could shove all this stuff in there and then shove it in just like the cheapest storage locker you could find.
Heading towards that.
Storage locker. Put them in tubs. Put them in storage locker. Head home.
All right. Let's go to IKEA, I guess. Some pins.
So you're still driving a car that somewhere is bugged. It might be the sat phone. It might be somewhere in the car itself. What's that? You're going to deal with that, or you're just going to kind of do your thing?
No, we're not going to take that. We're going to put these things in binders, call an Uber, throw them in there, and get in the Uber.
All right.
Also, Jackal, there's no IKEAs in Idaho.
Walmart?
Okay.
You've all been up for 24 hours, too. Like, it's starting to wear on you some, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing bad's happening yet, but...
Oh, I figured we were doing the whole binder shed thing tomorrow after we get some sleep.
Okay.
Do we miss our flights, or...
When are our
that
flights?
would miss your flights.
Shit.
I didn't rebook them.
Let's try that.
Everyone give me a luck roll on that one. Each one of you individually.
I failed 58. 50.
Success, jet lag.
Success, Jackal.
Success.
All right.
Wow, you all suck.
All right, Jotun, give me a bureaucracy.
I'm not very good at that. 67 failure.
Yeah, so the rest of you were pretty lucky. Like, I guess your flights were super easy, or your seats or something. Like, yeah, moving it back a day is not a problem. Agent Jotun, you're not so lucky, I guess. Like, there's nothing they can do to help you out on this one. You could also go back early kind of thing, too, hypothetically.
All right, they won't rebook my flight.
I would say just go. We'll take care of it.
Agree.
Okay.
I mean, we can say that we all wanted to get some rest and you just wanted to go home.
Yep. Here. I'm looking for a paper and pen.
Yeah, that's something you'd have on hand, hypothetically.
I write out my cell phone number, tear it off. All right.
Before you go, I write my my dead drop phone, my burner phone. I write the number for that for him, for Agent Jotun, and for everybody else.
Exchanging them numbers.
Yep, I do it two more times. Jackal,
Same.
Jumper, jet lag. Give me a shout. Should we have a code word or some shit?
Pine trees suck.
I don't know.
Sandman?
How about this? When you call, even you, Jumper, say it's Clyde Bowman calling.
Oh, I had a better idea. I was going to be like, I tell you a joke, and it was going to be funny.
Okay. I mean, I'm open to ideas. I just figured that was the easiest.
I don't care. Y'all just pick something.
Clyde Bowman, got it. I'm Clyde Bowman. We're all Clyde Bowman.
We're all Clyde Bowman.
But hey, here's this joke. So, what does a bear call a pine tree in the woods?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Toilet paper.
Sure, okay. I've been up for a day.
Not even that late.
So, oh, God.
Yeah, so you're going to go your separate ways now. So you're going to go to a hotel. And you're going home.
Yep.
All right.
Gotta take care of these books.
Cool. All right. Yeah, so you got your separate ways. You've done the exchanging of numbers. You've established your kind of contact information, your identifier, I guess. Yeah. Kind of successfully find a cheap dive hotel to kind of crash at. They'll take cash. And you make it through airport security relatively easily. You get home. You land to several, I'm talking 8, 9 voicemails from your ex-wife, Tiffany, and 30 texts, all just yelling at you to come over immediately to deal with the kids.
Which reminds me, I'm getting pretty low on the sanity. I should probably do something about that.
We will get to home scenes in a little bit. This is something else that may or may not be useful to that as well. We'll do home scenes after kind of this wraps itself out some.
Okay, so I get home and then go right over to, I guess I call her.
Yeah.
So I get home and I call Tiffany.
She picks up just angry. Oh, thank fucking God you finally pick up your phone. I call the office. I call your phone. No one's picking up. Where the hell are you?
I was on an assignment, but I'm back now. What's going on?
I get it. You're an agent. You're busy. But also, you fought for partial custody of these kids. That means you have to show up when you said you were going to show up. I need a break. Come get them. Take them to the park or whatever. You've missed a couple weekends. You missed a couple days with them this week already. Just come over here right now and deal with it. Kind of hangs up on you angrily, kind of thing.
All right.
I'm going to flash back to Idaho now. It's kind of, say it's the next day. The rest of you are kind of, you found a storage locker. It's a shitty, super divey. They're more than happy to take $50 for the next 3 months type of storage locker facility.
All right, we got some Rubbermaids to throw the stuff in.
Yeah.
All right.
Shopping, Cece. All right, so kind of give me some alertness checks as you're dealing with this.
All right.
You're paranoid. You've pissed off Miss Pine as best you can tell. You're kind of maybe a little bit rogue right now.
I'm paranoid.
Yeah.
You got a success, 18 out of 56.
Got a 19 out of 47.
Fail. 87.
You're not being followed. You kind of maybe jump on a couple people that you think might be following you, but no, you're fine. You kind of successfully stashed this place, and as you're leaving, though, you see kind of across the street on just a burned out building some graffiti, and it's weird. It's a bunch. It's a local kind of stack on stack on stack spray paint mural, but in the center of it, in a weird way, just kind of doesn't make sense. It's there. You see a shape, and it's familiar, and again, it's that kind of on top of all of that spray paint, you see that weird kind of question mark yellow looking thing just right there on top of all the other graffiti.
Like the center of a flower thing.
Yeah.
Where do we see this?
In this graffiti on the side of this kind of abandoned building near the kind of storage locker place.
Is the building boarded up?
Oh yeah, it's super shitty.
You said we go look at that, see how fresh it is.
All right, we're gonna flash back to Jotun. So you've had your your kids. They've kind of spent the night with you. It's breakfast. They're kind of you're cleaning up, and your son is drawing something on just kind of a piece of paper. And you kind of look over his shoulder, and again, maybe he drew this, maybe he didn't, but again, he's somehow drawn this weird yellow question marky thing just on a random piece of paper you gave him. You didn't even remember giving him a yellow pen or kind of crayon to draw with, but there it is. Amongst a bunch of other shapes, but it's there, clear as day to you. You see this weird yellow symbol just kind of in your son's doodles.
Jeff, Jeff, what is that?
He looks at you. It's drawings, Dad.
Yeah, the yellow squiggle thing. Where's that from?
Kind of looks at you, looks at it. I don't know, just a squiggle, I guess. Kind of looks around. Didn't have yellow earlier, did I? Can we find my yellow crayon, Dad?
Sure.
So you're doing that. That's its own type of weird. Well, yeah, no, you back to Idaho. You're gonna search the building?
Yeah.
I just want to see if it looks like it's months old or a year old or a minute old.
It's an old building. Like it looks like it's been boarded up for a couple years at least, kind of thing. Like,
I mean the actual marking.
Oh, the actual marking.
Could somebody have just done it?
You can't really tell. No, it's definitely not fresh. Like it's, especially you can tell it's been there a while, kind of thing, and which is weird because like it's definitely newer looking than a bunch of the graffiti that it's on top of, but it also like definitely is not new.
Does it look like there's any kind of? I mean, I don't want to be like arrested for breaking and entering, but does there look like might be an easy way to get in or at least peer into this building to see what's in there?
It sounds like a search.
Okay.
Yeah, so you kind of look around the building some, and you find there's most of it's boarded over and kind of with plywood in the way and stuff like that. But you do find after a little bit of time, just like when you could kind of push the plywood in enough to kind of look inside. Yeah, so inside this building, like it's just abandoned. It has this horrible smell. There's kind of dust everywhere. It is, I'd call it a crack den, except it's like no one's living there kind of thing. Like it's cold, it's damp, it's dusty. No one's lived there for a long time. Maybe some homeless people camp there every once in a while. That would explain why the kind of plywood is a little bit ajar that you could like kind of look inside, but no one lives here. No one, that'd be spray painting that weird symbol on the side of the building anyway.
Well, I'm going to take a picture of the memorial with my cell phone.
Sure.
And then...
Okay, so you take a picture of it. It doesn't show up on your camera, on the phone when you take a picture of it, but after the picture's taken, when you're looking at the image again, it's there.
WTF.
So when you're holding the camera about to take the picture, there's no yellow symbol?
Yeah.
When you take it, it shows up.
On the picture you took, yeah.
That's not creepy. Tell you what, I'm gonna go catch a flight.
Seems like it's something that's a little beyond us.
Well, I mean, you could call Miss Pine, talk to her about it.
I don't think she wants to talk to us. I'm just gonna file that away in my brain as.
I don't have a working number. Last time I called her,
that's true.
The number I had is disconnected. So.
All right, so everyone kind of goes their separate ways and goes home?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Everyone makes it home. Safe and sound kind of thing. Which means it's time for some home scenes. These are going to be a little bit longer because obviously some weirdness is afoot. Who wants to start with this? I suspect you all could use... I guess first off, did anyone reach a breaking point as part of this?
No. I got close, but I didn't.
Yep.
I'm one point above it.
Yeah, you are. All right. Who wants to go first with their home scene? This is a great chance to kind of do some research, train some skills. As you know, we're trying to recover some sanity. These are going to be a little bit extended, too. So we're going to kind of do your actual home scene. We're going to do kind of a little extra scene per person afterwards.
I do have a question.
Sure.
I mean, I've been under my breaking point for forever.
Yeah.
Does that matter?
No. So you're a broken agent right now, or you have broken sanity.
Yeah, I'm a broken person. I guess.
So that opens you up to a world of possibilities that are useful. But it doesn't, it's remember that whole disorder you picked up? It kicked in once. Those don't kick in until you're kind of below your breaking point, but it's not an actively detrimental thing. It's just kind of a thing that's around at all times that can cause problems, but often it's just kind of a state.
I want to make sure, I'm not constantly breaking. I'm just.
No, it's. You're probably a little bit paranoid, kind of thing. Like you're probably jumping at stuff, but yeah, you're not dribbling insane from the mouth, kind of thing. You're not yelling at street corners. The end is nigh. Just you are below what is considered normal mental health, and millions of people live there day to day kind of thing in the real world kind of thing. Like it's people get by with bad sanity all the time kind of thing in reality, and Delta Green agents are no different. It just occasionally comes with some other problems and opens you up to being suggestive about certain things, or maybe you notice some stuff you wouldn't notice normally. But that's neither here nor there. You also might react differently to someone or have a different takeaway based on kind of what the evidence you're seeing is. That's it's a weird status that like it feels like it should be doing more negatively to you, but it's not. It's just kind of there until it gets really bad, and you start stacking kind of disorders on top of disorders, and then it becomes a real problem.
Hey.
But yeah, so who wants to go first with their home scenes?
I can go first. Jet lag.
All right. What you gotta do, jet lag? You can get back to nature. You can see a shrink. You can train some skills. You can try and work on some bonds. What you gonna do?
I'm actually wondering if I could like train some unnatural or something.
Yeah.
I want to do
that. You can't train unnatural. You can research the unnatural, though.
Research the unnatural.
Yeah, you can study the unnatural, I guess, is the way of thinking of it. Is that something you want to do?
I would. I think we have some follow-ups that may be interesting with the Yogg Sothoth.
Sure.
That was muttered, etc. So that's what I want to do.
All right. Now, so you don't roll unnatural. You're kind of. Sorry, I should have been more clear about that. So, roll a 1d4.
1d4.
Yeah. So you gain that in unnatural skill, and
gotcha.
How do you think you go about doing this? Like, what are you researching? You just kind of like Googling the phrase Yogg Sothoth. You have like, do you go like the Wiccan store to kind of ask around about that? Like, how are you doing this research, I guess?
I'm going to say I go to a local university and start asking some of the faculty if they know anything about this.
Cool. So because you're doing this does take a detrimental effect on a bond, so subtract that 3 away from one of your bonds as well, because you are kind of neglecting them to go do this. But yeah, so you go to your local college and you kind of ask around, and you eventually kind of find the head of the occult studies department, and it's this it's this strange man called Jason Downs, and he's 4'2", thick glasses, kind of crazy carny man hair, and most of what he says is absolute bullshit, but he does kind of have some books that they don't quite mention Yogg Sothoth. They mention a Yogg Sothoth, and that's close enough you kind of look into, and so you're kind of flipping through this, and he's kind of explaining the work for it, and the thing you're reading about is the gatekeeper of knowledge and portals. It's some long dead kind of culture worship this thing as being the guardian of the kind of doors between worlds.
Yogg Sothoth is this guardian?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of described as this unknowable thing, a mass of never blinking eyes and that saw into every world at the same time kind of thing, seeing all, knowing all kind of thing. But yeah, their culture's long dead. They're probably full of shit. Who the hell knows what they're talking about? What the hell did they know? But also, as part of this, you learn that kind of this culture died out by it was a small kind of mountain-faring tribe in the kind of Central American region, and no one actually knows what happens to them. And by that I mean some missionaries went there, and the entirety of the village that was kind of involved in this religious worship was dead. But based on kind of decomposition, this is older kind of records and stuff, it looks like they'd been dead a long time, and all of them had kind of their, like, they were in various stages of decomp, but it looks like they'd all kind of ritualistically stabbed themselves through the eyes. But this is where it gets kind of weird. It looks like a bunch of them lived for a chunk of time after stabbing their eyes out. But again, they all died, which is weird and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of a weird little... Makes sense. It's the occult department researching this. It's kind of a strange tribal ritual practice. And kind of sends you on your way. He's like, yeah, it's a weird thing to want to know about, but yeah, I guess, yeah, that's what you're looking for, I suppose. So that's probably the only reference I know to it. And you know that this guy thinks this is bullshit, but like knowing what you know, you're like, okay, there's something about this is real.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. But also, you go home. Your dog is it's got some it's chewing on something.
Okay. Hey, girl. What you got there?
She doesn't really want to give it to you. She's kind of like almost guarding it. She's kind of growling at you a little bit. I suspect it's slightly weird behavior for this. Kind of like, what you gonna do?
Use a sterner voice. Meatball, heel.
All right, give me a persuade on that one. That's it, and it's a chunk of fabric, like it's like maybe part of a dress or like a very flamboyant shirt or something, and it's a kind of pale, like grayish white color of like chunk of fabric of some kind. But yeah, I can kind of, as you hold it up to your face, very small and kind of like just like the pattern on it looks like it's almost like polka dots or kind of a little swirly pattern. As you get closer, you realize this thing is covered in tiny versions of this yellow question mark symbol.
I'll probably go a little insane from that because now it's just following me around.
Yeah, give me a sand check on that one. Really goddamn weird. All right, who's next? We've kind of dealt with jet lag's home scene. Who's next?
I'll go next.
All right, so what are you gonna do?
I am actually gonna try to repair one of my relationships.
All right, you're gonna kind of go and so which one you gonna go with?
I'm gonna try to repair my relationship with my mother.
All right. So we've never really talked about your mom. What is... we kind of mentioned she's sick or something along those lines. What's up with her?
She's suffering from dementia.
Yeah.
So she's in like a private, like a nursing home, care facility. I'm just going to pretty much spend as much time as I can talking to her. And mainly this is twofold. This is kind of a way for, Agent Jumper to basically decompress and kind of do the same thing she was doing with the therapist. Tell, like I got this new job, but I don't trust my boss. I think my boss is this. It was a way to depress, but not really tell her any of the facts and just spend time with her and try to help her out with anything that she wants. Basically take her out to the day or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So give me a sand check because you're kind of filling responsibilities. You're hanging out with your mom.
I'm out of 35. I'm not good at this.
Yeah, your mom's dementia gets in the way, kind of thing. Like you're going a little bit crazy. She's a little bit crazy. Like it's crazy.
Crazy people together.
Yeah, you have a lovely day though. You do anything special with your mom? Any any special restaurant you go to, or like is there a park you go to that she used to love that maybe she doesn't totally remember, but like maybe it jogs some memories typically for her or something?
Yeah, definitely. We'll go to the local library. I feel like that's something my mom probably did a lot. And then next door's, park that we still always go to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where we'll spend the day.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you're out in the park. You're talking to your mom. There's some kids playing. There's like a clown off in the distance doing some clown stuff, like normal park stuff. Aubrey?
Yeah.
I feel like you've been out of town a lot lately. Is everything all right?
Yeah, I have been out of town a lot. My job has taken me way different places. Way crazier places than I thought. But yeah, everything's it's okay.
You look tired, dearie. Are you working too hard?
Oh, maybe a little. Maybe it's time to take a small vacation.
That sounds lovely, yes. Where are you thinking about going?
Oh, I mean, hey, I've never been to Hawaii. That might be nice. Beach, warm.
Hawaii is wonderful, but I heard of this lovely place this time of year, called Carcosa. I've heard it's wonderful. Cheap to go there. I've heard you never want to leave once you go.
Really?
You should go there.
Where would this happen to be in Kansas?
I don't know where Carcosa is. I just know it's by a lake. A beautiful lake. Allegedly, the sunsets over it are absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely have to look into that.
All right, so kind of like you're looking off. this is weird. Why the hell is your mom talking about a place named Carcosa? That's obviously a made-up place. But also kind of looking off at the distance, this clown's kind of waving a ribbon around in kind of like a pattern of some kind. And it's only for a split second, but you definitely see it. It's definitely there. In the air is this kind of ribbons whirling about. It makes this weird question mark sign you've now seen a couple places. And you swear the clown looks at you and winks and then kind of joyfully runs off into the rest of the park kind of thing. Kids are chasing it. But you lose sight of it.
I resist the urge to pull out my gun and shoot him. And start counting backwards in my head because this is all made up. This is all made up as I rock in my bench.
Absolutely made up. Who's left? Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
All right. What are you doing?
I'd like to try to improve a stat.
All right. You want to do some training?
Yeah, my dexterity is pretty low.
All right. So you can't improve a stat. You can only kind of do training for an ability.
Really? I thought.
All right. No, yes, you can. My bad. You absolutely can. All right. Nice. So reduce a non-DG bond by 1.
Okay, I'm going to reduce brother.
Yeah, so this is a weird one. You want to fail this. So roll the stat you want to improve.
And it was a failure, 69 out of 40.
All right, so failure is good.
So I was reading this blurb. I think I can just add 1.
Or 1d10.
Oh, nice.
Oh, sorry, so it's 1d10 sent to a skill. My bad. Yeah, so it's just 1 to the stat. So so that goes up by 1. How are you doing this training, I guess? Like, what are you doing to train your dexterity? Is it like you're running, you're jogging, you kind of like you're playing paintball or something?
What is dexterity? Is this kind of like agility?
Dexterity is kind of your agility. It's your agility stat, for lack of a phrase. It's kind of your ability to dodge, it's your ability to kind of get there, it's your grace, like it could be trained for anything from like doing gymnastics even to just like jumping jacks or doing some aerobics or some Tai Chi or something like that.
I'm in Ohio. How would I sign up for some martial art classes or something? I feel like that would appeal to my character. Maybe it's karate or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or something like that. Just to try to get some of my old limberness back maybe.
Yeah, some kind of martial arts for adults for kind of like improved health and stuff like that. So, you go to a dojo for that. You go into like the rec center for that. Like, what kind of place is Agent Jackal going to deal with that?
I'm going to say it's like a martial arts dojo where they offer a couple different things. So maybe they have karate and judo. Yeah, maybe Tai Chi on the weekends or something like that. And let's say I sign up for judo. Yeah, they do kids classes during most of the day and stuff like that. Yeah, totally makes sense. Yeah, so you're doing one of the night classes, kind of the adult stuff. There's a kids class in the background as you're doing this. You're doing the stretches. Yeah, you find you're getting back into it. You're not a Navy SEAL anymore, but you're feeling it kind of come back to you some more. You feel like it's going to be important. What's going through your head as you're doing this? Kind of embarrassed that the kids are working out in the dojo, but I kind of know it's good for me. Yeah. Also wondering if I could maybe form another relationship. Not really good at making friends and stuff. I mean, I kind of a homebody. Unfortunately, I can only do one thing per home scene, but I definitely understand the drive to do that. But yeah, so it's going through my head, just no. So the instructor does kind of walk over and he's watching you. He's like, "Good form. Do you have training or something in this?" Yeah, I used to be military, but it's kind of been a while, and I'm looking to stay active. It's a slightly older gentleman, maybe like 50, 60s, extends his hand. Sensei Paul, Green Berets. Where'd you serve, son? I was a SEAL, actually. Damn, a SEAL in my dojo. I'm sure I can learn a thing or two from a beret. Kind of winks at you. I mentioned that. Remind me at checkout, and I'll give you a slight discount. I call it the Brothers in Arms discount. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, walks away, and so behind you hear a crash. I'm going to whip around.
Yeah. And kind of like one of the kids has been kicked into a wall and stuff like that. And as he's fallen, he's kind of grabbed the other kid's yellow belt and pulled that off, and it's lying on the ground. And by just freak weird circumstance, it's fallen into kind of a strange question mark shape of some kind. It seems almost impossible, but somehow this kind of this martial arts yellow belt's fallen into the shape of that weird sign you saw. That's pretty improbable.
I'm just gonna like stand and stare at it a little too long, maybe, and then down and pick it up and get the belt for a second, and then maybe hand it to the kid.
Yeah, and the kid's looking at you like, "What the hell, mister? It's my belt." Like, you've never seen a yellow belt before? It's like, kind of like as he walks, like,
yeah,
train hard enough, sir. I guess you can earn one too. Like whatever kids that do karate say. All right. Last but not least,
I need to get more sanity.
all right. We're going to a shrink.
Is that the only way to do it?
So there's a couple ways to do this. You can go to therapy. That's the most effective way, hypothetically. You can also kind of go back to nature, which that gets you some sand back. Depends how risky you want to be, I guess. Like therapy gets you the most sanity back, hypothetically, but also has a potential negative, but also, yeah. Back to nature is kind of like you go camping, you kind of get away from it all and just kind of tough guy kind of meditate, for lack of a better phrase. Which one feels more like you? Basically, it's the difference between maybe being able to recover 4 sand or 6 sand total, max.
Can I take my kids camping?
You can, but also like you can't double dip and do fulfill responsibilities at the same time. This will kind of reduce a non-DG bond by 1. So like maybe you take him camping, but you're kind of like off in your head the entire time, and one of your kids picks up on this and kind of feels bad that his dad's like not ignoring it. You're not ignoring him. You're not paying maybe as much attention as he thinks you should have. Like these kids, their perception of time is weird.
Can the bond instead be their mom, or does it have to be?
Yeah,
the kids?
It can be on anyone. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll dock their mom a point.
Perfect. Yeah. So
I'll take my kids camping.
Yeah. So like you announce they're going camping, and she's mad at you for this, and it's like it's not your weekend, et cetera, et cetera. Like yeah, normal kind of split parenting duties. All right. So because you're doing fulfilling nature, roll a sand check.
60 failure.
All right, so good news is you don't lose any more sanity, but you don't really recover insanity either. Like maybe it's too quiet out there or something. Like it feels wrong, and like your kids pick up on this some, but like it's not detrimental. It's camping. They're with their dad. It's fun. This is neat. Where do you go camping? I guess like go to a lake. Do you go to go kind of into the woods? Like what's the plan? Like do you do a campground?
Yeah, it'd be. It would be. I would take them camping, somewhere safe but still remote, like, and not like where we're parked between 2 other people's RVs, like actually tent,
sure.
Out like in the woods.
You have to hike out to it and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
Do you kind of do any adventuring once you're there? Do you go out in kind of the woods and explore stuff? Like,
yeah, take them hiking.
Yeah. All right, so kind of one day you're off on a hike and you're following a trail and you're following the kind of the paint markers on the trees, and you come to a fork in the road kind of thing. And on one side, there's kind of more blue dots that are kind of taking you off and trail you were following. But then to the right, there's another trail. It's yellow. And on the tree kind of after the split that you kind of see off in the distance, it's kind of like, it's not a spot necessarily like the other ones are. It's kind of a little squiggle to it almost. It's more designed, I guess. Do you go towards it?
Sure.
All right, so as you approach, where all these are just kind of spots on a tree, this is, again, that weird, not quite a question mark yellow sign just on this tree. And one of your kids kind of runs up behind you. I'll say it's Jeff this time, kind of like, hey, Dad, what you looking at?
I'm just making sure we're on the right path.
I thought we were following the blue path, Dad.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we didn't get off on the wrong one.
All right, so kind of like he's looking around. Do you show him what you're looking at?
No.
All right, cool. Yeah, so give me actually... Yeah, I'm not going to make you roll for that. That'd be too dickish. Yeah, so all right, cool. You go back to the blue trath and you kind of keep going. But yeah, no, that yellow sign was out there in the woods with you. That weird yellow question mark.